别个的小区里面。
Fındıklar 9 oluyor.
Shaanxi, China. Relentless downpours have battered Shaanxi Province, unleashing widespread floods that have torn through towns, farmland, and infrastructure. Rivers once calm have swollen into surging torrents, submerging roads and cutting off transport links across the mountainous province. In both urban centers and remote valleys, residents have watched as muddy water carved through streets, sending debris cascading through low-lying neighborhoods. The region's unique loess landscape, known for its fragile soil, offered little resistance as rainwater stripped away hillsides and filled gullies with thick mud. Authorities escalated flood control alerts as river gauges climbed rapidly across tributaries of the Weihai River. Local teams scrambled to reinforce embankments while monitoring smaller dams that came under strain from the unrelenting runoff. Dozens of smaller rivers spilled over their banks, pushing water into farmland and industrial zones. The impact on infrastructure has been severe. Highways, provincial roads, and bridges sustained heavy damage as currents undermined foundations and washed away protective embankments. In some counties, asphalt peeled like paper from the force of the flow, leaving gaping cracks and stranded vehicles. Urban drainage systems, already aging, buckled under the volume, forcing crews to deploy pumps to clear submerged intersections. Electric power networks faced major disruption as substations and underground lines were inundated. Utility operators were forced to shut down circuits to prevent short circuits, leaving neighborhoods without power until technicians could reach the flooded zones. Communications infrastructure also faltered in rural districts, where waterlogged relay towers briefly silenced mobile networks. In the countryside, the floods turned rich agricultural plains into temporary lakes. Fields of corn, wheat, and vegetables were left coated in silt and debris. Farmers described seeing months of cultivation erased within hours, as irrigation channels overflowed and machinery sank in saturated soil. Local cooperatives are now surveying losses to plan for replanting once the ground stabilizes. Nature's most devastating forces, in the southern province of Guangdong, China, it's a recurring and often overwhelming threat. Road access to some hilly areas was cut off as landslides blocked mountain passes. Emergency crews worked around the clock with excavators to reopen supply routes, moving soil and rock under dangerous conditions. In several counties, small villages became temporarily isolated, relying on airdrops and small boats to deliver food and medical supplies. the Provincial Emergency Command activated its highest level of response for medium-sized rivers and mountain torrents. Thousands of responders were mobilized to assess damage, drain waterlogged zones, and inspect flood barriers. State relief agencies sent essential materials including tents, bedding, and drinking water to affected communities as cleanup began. As water levels slowly receded, the extent of the destruction became clearer. Streets, once paved and orderly, were coated in thick sediment. Storefronts and homes bore marks of the waterline, showing how quickly rivers had surged. Municipal teams cleared debris from drainage systems to prevent renewed blockages, while engineers inspected bridges for hidden structural weaknesses. Power and water utilities gradually restored services as access improved. In several towns, temporary water supply stations were established, while purification plants underwent cleaning and repairs. Volunteers joined local officials to remove trash, mud, and fallen trees that clogged major roads. Provincial planners now face pressure to strengthen flood defenses and upgrade outdated systems. Engineers are recommending new river embankments, wider culverts, and real-time monitoring equipment to detect rising water levels earlier. Environmental officials also called for improved watershed management to slow runoff and reduce sediment flow during heavy rain. As recovery progresses, the focus is shifting from emergency relief to resilience. Local governments are urged to incorporate flood risk mapping and disaster planning into new urban developments. Meteorologists are expanding their early warning systems to integrate radar-based precipitation tracking and public alert platforms. Now, as cleanup continues across Shaanxi, the muddy streets, toppled trees, and broken roadways stand as a visible record of nature's force, and a challenge for the province's ongoing effort to rebuild stronger, safer, and more adaptable to a changing climate. Thanks for watching Severe Weather, where we break down the facts behind nature's most intense moments. If you found this video helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe. Your support keeps this channel going. Hit the bell so you never miss a real, calm, and clear report. Note, some footage in this video may be used for illustration and may not show the exact event described. See you in the next one. Stay informed, stay safe.